Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their racks on new chain.
What up? It's your boy Teddy P back again with another video, and I'ma keep coming. You already know. What's poppin'? This is one thing we're going for today. Lightweight or heavyweight? What do you do? What do you like? What do you use? It's very important. Is it important to use both? Or is it just something that you have to choose between lightweight and heavyweight? We're just gonna watch a video real quick and he's gonna explain in detail what you're supposed to do. And now I'm just gonna give you a couple of tips and advice off the video in order for you to get ready, right? And get shredded before the summer, man. Because that's all you wanna do. Get ripped, shredded, and look good for the girls. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so let's get it popping. It's your boy Teddy Pitt. Let's start the video, man.
You've heard of the saying, go heavy or go home, implying that the only way to get any results is to lift the heaviest weights possible, and lighter weights are often just a waste of time. Going to the gym, you'll definitely see those guys that are lifting weights well beyond their capabilities. It seems that people definitely believe in go heavy or go home, or they forgot to leave their ego at the door.
Leave your ego at home.
It leaves us with one question. Does lifting lighter weights have a place in your program? To answer that, we of course will have to look into the research. Fortunately for us, there has been a solid amount of such research recently published. The one that will allow us to best understand this is a 2016 meta-analysis coming out of the lab of the well-renowned
2016 research. Meta-analysis, whatever words they're using. But let me tell you something, this is very recent. It's like a year ago. I say a year because we are just in the first month of 2018. So basically when they tell you 2016, I won't explain this shit. Okay, let's go. So this shit is recent. They did it yesterday. Alright.
Muscle hypertrophy specialist, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld. This meta-analysis looked at studies comparing a high-load group employing a training load of 65% or greater 1 RM versus a low-load group employing a training load of 60% or less 1 RM. 1 RM short for 1 rep max, the amount of weight one can maximally lift just once. 10 studies met their criteria, giving them an okay amount of information to work with, but better than others. What's important is what they found. To a mild surprise to the researchers, in terms of hypertrophy, aka muscle growth, although the findings somewhat suggest a level of superiority using a heavier load with fewer reps, lighter loads with higher reps also had a very similar positive effect. And it wasn't just moderately high reps. Some of these studies reached upwards 30 or more, with some reaching as high as 100 reps per set. It looks like you can build muscle using a wide variety of rep schemes and variations. According to the research, the more important factor seems to be total work volume, reps times sets times weight. As long as volume is similar, both heavy and light weights work. However, all of these studies used untrained subjects. As we know, untrained subjects can respond to typically any resistance training program since they inherently have a greater potential for growth. Knowing this, Schoenfeld and his colleagues ran their own study using a similar protocol but with trained subjects. What they found was virtually the same thing. But again, they did find that lifting heavier does have a slightly greater hypertrophic effect. If you want to simply maximize growth, why not just focus on lifting heavier? Even though lighter and heavier weights can effectively build muscle, they might be building predominantly different fiber types. Type 2 and Type 2X are your stronger, more fatigue-prone muscle fibers, which is fully stimulated when lifting heavy weights for a very short amount of time. They also grow roughly 50% more than their Type 1 fiber counterparts. Type 1 are your not as strong, fatigue-resistant muscle fibers. These characteristics allow you to lift a lighter weight with many more reps. Although these fibers don't grow as much as Type 2 fibers, they indeed still grow. Hypothetically, this means that training with heavier weights are better at building Type 2 fibers, and lighter weights are better at building Type 1. We do have some studies showing this. In a 2012 study, when comparing 80% one...
You still grow. you still, bro. What? Some people gonna come out and say, no, you should lift heavy only. No, you can't lift lightweight. That's for the babies. No, you should, no. You're supposed to use both. You're supposed to switch in between. You're supposed to match your workout in a certain way that you will have heavy weight and light weight going on inside, because there is two type of muscle or two type of fibers that you developing inside the muscle. There is too much comedy over here. Let's stop this shit and keep going. Play.
1RM to a 30% 1RM training, the lighter group increased type 1 fiber growth by 23% versus 16% in the higher load group. Conversely, the high load group had a slightly greater type 2 fiber growth. But we haven't yet discussed strength. In all cases, measuring strength improvement.
Before we even go into strength, of course, if you lift heavy, you're gonna be strong. Of course, if you keep lifting heavy, you're gonna be stronger. Of course. But there is different type of fibers that are being stimulated right there. That's why you need those both type of exercise, those both type of, how can I say it, workout, in order to run everything and make it work for yourself. You can't just go and lift heavy every day. It's not gonna work for you. You can't just go and lift lightweight. You're not gonna be working out. All right, so then you gotta switch those things in order to make it work for yourself. That's why I'm gonna show you how to keep and maintain the muscle when you're in your room, at home, at the mall, at the library, in class, when you're doing your homework on the third floor at the library, when you're in the locker room with your friends. I'm gonna show you how to work out and keep and maintain your muscles. Activate or active or activation or whatever the word is. I don't know. Need to look in the dictionary.
Using heavier weights of roughly 85% or more of your 1RM always beat out anything less. And it makes sense when you apply the SAID principle, aka specific adaptations to imposed demands. If you want to adapt.
What is that? Listen.
And become specifically stronger, you need to create the demand by lifting heavier. Doing so maximizes mechanical tension, stimulating your stronger type 2 fibers, and also improves neuromuscular adaptations. But the same SAID principle also applies with light weights in terms of muscular endurance. If you want to be able to lift more reps, you'll have to do more high rep training, which also increases metabolic adaptation and lactate threshold, combating muscle fatigue. This also explains the so-called hypertrophy range of 6 to 12 reps you might have heard of. It taps directly into the center of the metabolic mechanical spectrum, giving you a solid balance for growth. Along with that, it capitalizes other potential growth factors such as time under tension, quality technique, and avoiding excessive burnouts. So let's ask the question.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that burnout they're talking about. I do that all the time. I do excess all the time. That burnout, I don't believe in it. That overtraining things, I don't believe in that shit. Okay? You eat well, you go and you freaking work out like a man or like a lady, whatever, whoever you are. You come back, you eat well, and you work out the way you're supposed to be. Your body is gonna start changing by himself and start looking for the right food by himself. You're gonna see candies and you're gonna be like, no, I don't need candies. I need some protein today. I need some ladders today. I need some eggs today. You will see junk food and you will decide to not eat it because your body is asking and demanding for the right food. This is only when you do the right workout, when you're doing the right way, when you make the body work, that it start asking you for the right food. But unless you do the workout the right way, it will not ask you. You have to do it the right way. And if it's not the right way, what's going to be happening is you will not know what's happening. I should stop right there. It's too much information for you.
Question again. Do lighter weights have a place in your program? Clearly now, the answer is yes in terms of muscle growth. You should spend time in the whole gamut of rep ranges without ignoring one too much. However, it still somewhat depends. In this case, it depends on your goals. If you want to become stronger, it's very clear that you should swing your program towards heavier lifting,
Heavy
sporadic
for strong
time,
people.
and lightweight training. If you're pure muscle building, training throughout all rep ranges evenly is perhaps the best approach.
Muscle
if you're
building.
going for endurance,
Get
then you should
ripped.
primarily lift light weights
Moderate.
with more reps, with a moderate amount of time training in the other ranges.
Endurance.
The main
Lightweight.
takeaway though is that everyone should do a little bit of everything. Light weights, heavy weights, and everything in between. They all have benefits to your overall fitness. This video is brought to you by the It Depends
Yeah,
t-shirt.
thank you, man.
Just
Thank
like
you, man. He told you. This guy just told you. He told you to use all type of weight. You gotta go from 5 pounds to the 100 dumbbell up there. 100-pound dumbbell and come back to the 5 one. You can't underestimate those dumbbells. You can't underestimate weights at the gym and say, oh, he's lifting light and I'm lifting. No, you need to be able to work with all of them. Someday you're gonna come in the gym and you're just gonna do a bunch of rep light weights for endurance. And sometime you will come and do heavy because you've been doing endurance for a week. Or you just go with moderate weight and do your work and keep building muscles. I'ma explain. I'ma keep explaining. I'ma keep talking. All right. We're just gonna keep playing around with it, laugh and get muscular, ripped and shredded. We're still gonna be talking about it. I'm still gonna joke around just to make fun of this thing while teaching you the thing at the same time. All right. So excuse me for my English if it's not correct, or if it's correct, if you understood or not. But this was your boy Teddy Pitt. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hey, give me a fist bump when you see me around. And that's what's up. I'm out.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their racks on new chain. My
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 niggas wanna war, 10 niggas on the floor, 11 niggas on the porch, 12 killers wanna war, 13 carnivores, 14 Labradors, 15 dinosaurs, 16 avatars, 17 bombs or grenades at your rental car, 18 ways you can die when you have it all.